All right, taking a peek at NVIDIA right now. That was a tear in one of the best performing stocks of the year, I believe, up over the 150% year to date. Big question is how it performs tomorrow when its earnings come out. Most are anticipating if they come out even a little bit better than expectations, the stock could be easily hitting a new high and lead the NASDAQ higher. NASDAQ under some pressure today. Scott Martin at Kingsview Asset Management joining us out of Madison, Wisconsin. Madison, Wisconsin, that's a little over an hour, I guess, from Milwaukee?
About an hour from Milwaukee, Neil, a couple hours from Chicago, and in one of the most beautiful places in the Midwest I've probably ever seen.
It is a beautiful place. So let me ask you a little bit, Scott, about whether it will be a beautiful place for technology stocks led by NVIDIA tomorrow. A lot of people are looking at that as sort of a chance for tech to regroup. Not that this year to date they need much regrouping, but what do you make of it?
They don't need much regrouping. In fact, they need tech to keep leading. And I think that's something, Neil, that you talked about there in your lead about how the NASDAQ is feeling pressure because NASDAQ, my friends, is off considerably from the highs earlier today. And that's really the concern. Not only interest rates is kind of the backdrop. We're going to have the Fed talking from Jackson Hole on Friday, but also the fact, too, Neil, that we need companies like NVIDIA, the Googles, the Apples, the Microsofts, the Amazons to keep doing what they've been doing, which is raising guidance, exceeding expectations, and talking about AI possibilities in the future.
You know, it seems now that it's an AI play for many. Of course, it's been around long before the whole AI phenomenon in gaming, what have you. But some cynics who short the stock say it just lucked out. It just sort of relabeled or rebranded itself as an AI play. But it genuinely is, at least partially, an AI play. So what do you think of NVIDIA as a stock, the AI phenomenon in general? Did we go too far with it? What?
I think we have gone a little far with it. As far as the expectations, I mean, sometimes, Neil, I wake up in the morning and I feel like I'm AI myself, so maybe that could get me some higher prices in the future, too. But there is a nice proposition with AI in the future, but these stocks, like you said, have just rallied considerably ahead of what they've really delivered. I mean, NVIDIA has these chips and some of the other businesses that they do besides AI that have been very good and part of their business for years and years, like you said. So the fact that a company comes out on an earnings report and mentions AI and talks about how great these capabilities are and the integrations into their systems and things with respect to what they're going to output, that has taken those stocks up, say, 10, 15, 20% in a day or two. So looking at how these expectations line up with NVIDIA, we do own it. We've owned it in the past. We've sold it as it's rallied high and then bought it as it's come back down low again. But I think NVIDIA is one to watch here as a, say, proponent of the market going forward and how we behave here at the end of the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter at the end of the year.
Even with these lofty expectations for NVIDIA, I mean, it still trades at, what, 50 times earnings? And I'm wondering what the earnings either have to go way, way up or the stock has to come way, way down where they meet in the middle. What do you think?
I think they meet in the middle. I think that's probably the sad story is there's a lot of late money that's gone into NVIDIA that may be disappointing. Now, if you hold NVIDIA for, say, 3 years versus 3 months, I think your outcome is going to be good. But you're right, with respect to, say, even 1999, 2007, when a lot of these stocks out there in the NASDAQ especially traded very expensively, like you mentioned, 50, 75, 100 times earnings, those came back down to levels that were more reasonable. Good money, long-term money came into those names and took them eventually higher and higher. And that's something I think we're going to see with a lot of these stocks here in the fall.
Got it. We'll watch closely. Scott, always good catching up with you, my friend. Scott in beautiful Madison, Wisconsin.
See you.
All right, here.